Whew. How are you guys doing? Um, boom, boom, boom. Bring that my what is it called? That my light thing is there. That stand that has light. Yeah. My darling, you might need to uncharge your phone for a minute. Okay, guys, we're all working from home today. Fantastic. So let me call in the radio station. The radio station is going to give us a link directly. So um, I have to, okay, let me plug this here. So I want to get better lighting. My darling, sorry, I need your charger. Don't be angry. Okay. Is it better? Let me make the light a little whiter. Okay. All right, it's a lot better, right? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. We're having service from home. Something else I needed. Will this work to prop this up a little bit so you guys can see me better? I think that is fine. Good morning. Now let me call up the radio station so they can give me a live feed. So I'm going to also be broadcasting on Cool FM. Cool FM, someone say I look like a chief. I don't the old, see my young picture when I first started this ministry. So,
Hello?
yeah, Labooms, I'm ready to go live. Are you running commercials?
Yeah, commercial, we just ran it. The next one is 11:40.
11:40, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I can run now straight to 11:40.
Yes.
Are you viewing me on you? Can you view me?
I'm on your page on YouTube.
How clear is the audio?
The audio from this other system.
No, from the system. Is it clear enough to go on air?
I can't see you live right now.
I'm live, oh.
Yeah.
Yes. YouTube, I'm live. 120 something people watching me, 129, sir.
It's live. Okay, I've seen it.
How is the audio?
Let's try it. Increase the volume. No, what's happening? Yeah. Can you talk?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Very clear. It's very clear.
Very clear, because I'm using a special mic. You guys need to talk to me. This is how you are going to be broadcasting next week.
Hey, very free.
All right, Labooms. So let me know, because I'm going to announce Cool FM. So I'm going to start with, it's 96.9 Cool FM.
Okay. So I'm going to cut this song playing right now.
Okay. Then, as you are cutting the song, just give me the cue. 3, 2, 1. Then I'll run. Then I'll break at 11:40.
Okay. 3,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
1.
It is 96.9 Cool FM. Yes, it doesn't look like Cool FM because I'm broadcasting from home, obeying the sit-at-home order. Big ups to Cool FM and the management of Cool FM. There are some people that are actually living in Cool FM who are not going out. So nobody's allowed to go into Cool FM and nobody's allowed to come out of Cool FM at this time. And they're trying to obey the sit-at-home order. And everybody who's there is being fed, well taken care of. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of them. Can you put your hands together for Cool FM right now, wherever you are? They made this possible. Big shout out to them. Whew. Good morning, Lagos. I'm going to be running straight to 11:40 when we'll be taking a break for ads, and then we'll continue all the way till midday. So work with me. Let's make this happen. God bless you all. I appreciate everyone who's turned out today. I thank you for the love you've shown, not just me, but the entire Cool FM, the entire Free Nation in Christ, the Free the Sheeple movement, and Christianity as a whole. Our doctrine is a love-based doctrine. No matter how others might portray it, we are love people. So, let's start with a prayer. Heavenly King, Almighty God, I thank you for the opportunity once again for your people to gather. We were gathering like this before, so coronavirus is not going to stop us. We're just going to obey the laws of the land, because the book of Romans clearly tells us that those in charge are ordained by God to be in charge. So, Father, let the truth come out of our lips and into our hearts as we're guided by your wisdom under the umbrella of your grace and love, as we plead for your mercy upon the earth, upon Africa, upon Nigeria, upon every local government in this country, and upon every individual and every family. I ask for your mercy in Yahushua's name, the name above all names, the name given to cast out demons, the name given to lead people to salvation. Yahushua, Yeshua, Al-Mashiach. God bless you all. All right, so welcome everyone. Today's message is titled Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rah! Tyrannosaurus Rex, Rex means king in Latin. He's called T-Rex. One of the most well-represented of the large theropods. Tyrannosaurus lived throughout what is now Western North America, on what was then an island continent known as Laramidia. Tyrannosaurus had a much wider range than other dinosaurs. Fossils are found in a variety of rock formations dating to the Maastrichtian period of the Upper Cretaceous period, 68 to 66 million years ago. An apex predator, powerful, all-controlling. Nothing could eat a T-Rex except another T-Rex. T-Rex was king over the continent, over other dinosaurs. But the problem is, why would an apex predator like T-Rex, that nobody could control, nobody could curtail, nobody could hold, why would an apex predator like that go extinct? Why would a predator like that go extinct? And there are many theories. Many of them that I'm going to share with you today. So let's start. Let's talk about this so you guys can understand where I'm going to. The dinosaurs roamed the earth for about 160 million years until their sudden demise, some 65.5 million years ago. in an event known as the Cretaceous Tertiary or KT. Besides dinosaurs, many other species of mammals, amphibians, and plants died out at the same time. And over the years, paleontologists have proposed several theories for this extensive die-off. One of the early theories was that small mammals ate the dinosaur eggs, thereby reducing the dinosaur population until it became unsustainable. Another theory was that dinosaur bodies became too big to be operated by their small brains. I just love that one. Some scientists believe that a great plague decimated the dinosaur population and then spread to the animals that feasted on their carcasses. Starvation was another possibility. Large dinosaurs required vast amounts of food and could have stripped bare all vegetation in their habitat. Evidence from 65 million old lava flows in India hint that a giant gaseous volcano might have initiated global climate change that has threatened the dinosaurs. And scientists continue researching, hoping they'll be able to paint a more detailed picture of the ever-changing, ever-evolving planet. Today, we have an apex predator that is gradually going extinct, and that's T-Rex. That huge dinosaur is religion. Many of the theories, there's no proof of why the dinosaurs went extinct, they're just theories. But all the theories point to a catastrophic event. Let's talk about all the theories, one by one again. One, that the early mammals ate the dinosaur eggs. The small mammals. You see, according to the theory of evolution, reptiles came before amphibians, came before reptiles, reptiles came before birds, birds came before mammals. Mammals were a more sophisticated kind. So they were able to survive when the dinosaurs collapsed. That's one theory. So that's like a takeover theory. The second theory is the dinosaur bodies became too big for their brains. I particularly like this theory. The body of religion has become too big for the tiny brains that operate religion. Who's with me this morning? Religion grew so big, but the brains behind religion became so small, so inept, so tiny, that they couldn't control the big bodies of the reptilians. And I choose that word. My choice of that word is not a coincidence, but I'll leave it there. The brain became so, not that the brain became smaller, the body became too big for the brain. The third one was that a great plague decimated the dinosaur population. Whoa, there's a great plague upon the dinosaur population of planet Earth right now. There's a plague called the COVID-19 or COVID-19 or coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. It is a plague, and it is upon religion. Because it is beginning to tear down the strongholds of the big body, tiny brain dinosaur scenario. Who's with me this morning? Who's with me this morning? Starvation was another possibility. Large dinosaurs required vast amounts of food and could have stripped bare all vegetation in their habitat. I didn't make this up, you can find it on Wikipedia. Starvation killed the dinosaur. Do you think sending out USSD codes in a time of famine when people are starving is not going to kill religion? The dinosaur is going to be killed by starvation. Because you see, what makes the dinosaur big is the tiny cells in its body that come together. The cells become organs, the organs become systems, the systems become a being. The cells of the dinosaur of religion are you and I. And the cells are being starved of nourishment. The cells are being starved of nutrition. And they are still required, despite the starvation, to carry on their functions as cells. And gradually the cells are beginning to die. They're beginning to operate erratically. The systems, you see, the first thing you have when your cells begin to die is organ failure, multiple organ failure, system failure, and then death, and then extinction. Extinction is mass death. The next theory is that climate change threatened the dinosaur. Oh yeah, climate change is threatening religion, but religion doesn't care because religion just wants your money, and religion is praying about climate change instead of acting. Paul told Timothy, sip a little wine, not just water. Religion is saying, Paul, pray for Timothy, despite the fact that you have a readily available cure. And that is how the most powerful of all dinosaurs, that is how the most enigmatic of all creatures that ever roamed the earth started to die one cell at a time. Go with me to the book of Mark chapter 12. Yahushua, I'm reading from 41, sat down near the collection box in the temple and watched as the crowds dropped their money. Many rich people put in large amounts, then a poor widow came and dropped 2 small coins. Yahushua said to the disciples, I tell you the truth, this poor widow has given more than all the others who are making contributions, for they gave a tiny part of their surplus. But she, poor as she is, has given everything she had to live on. Let's work with those 3 lines. She has given everything she has to live on. The moment you give everything you have to live on, what's the next stage? It is called starvation. And if you don't believe me, go with me, because Mark chapter 12 ended with 43. The next chapter is Mark 13. If you read Mark 12:41, Yahushua sat down near the collection box in the temple. If you read Mark chapter 13 verse 1, so you know that it is in sequence. It is in the actual chronology of events. As Yahushua was leaving the temple, that is how Mark 13 began. He was sitting in the temple in Mark 12, and he was leaving that temple on that same day in Mark 13. The scriptures say, as he was leaving the temple that day, the day the widow gave her last mite, all she had to live on, one of the disciples said, "Teacher, look at these magnificent buildings. Look at this big T-Rex. Look at how big and dominant and beautiful it is. Look at how powerful its jaws are. Look at how strong its hind legs are and how fast it can run. So fast that it can outrun any other living thing that lived around when it lived." You've watched Jurassic Park. If a T-Rex chases you, you don't have much of a choice than to surrender. "Teacher, look at these magnificent buildings. Look at this impressive stones in the walls." And Yahushua replied, "Yes, look at these great buildings. Look at this massive T-Rex. But they will be completely demolished. He will go completely extinct. Not one stone will be left on top of the other. Any religion that oppresses the poor widow is a T-Rex that is going extinct." Who is with me this morning? Any religion that takes the last mite from a hopeless, hungry widow is going extinct. A lot of Christians don't understand Mark chapter 12 and the widow with her few mites, and confuse it for Christian giving. Any Christianity that is based on this type of giving is a T-Rex that is going extinct. Look at someone beside you and tell them, don't go extinct with T-Rex. Don't go extinct with T-Rex. T-Rex is going down. Don't go down with T-Rex. T-Rex might look powerful. He might roar greater than 10 lions. He might charge faster than a pack of hippopotamuses. He is bigger than a herd of elephants, but he's going down. Who's with me this morning? Go with me to the book of Jeremiah 26 and 6. Then I, this is Yahweh speaking, the Lord of heaven's armies, then I will destroy this temple as I destroyed Shiloh, a place where the tabernacle was located. And I will make Jerusalem an object of cursing in every nation on earth. The temple's coming down. And why is the temple coming down? Why is the temple coming down? Psalm chapter 78 and 60. Then he abandoned his dwelling at Shiloh, the tabernacle where he had lived among the people. God used to live among the people, but he abandoned that tabernacle because the tabernacle was going down. And God has abandoned the 100,000-seater tabernacles you have here. He abandoned them long ago when they started taking from widows. Let's talk about tithing. Go with me to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and 37. Moreover, we will bring to the priests at the storerooms of the house of our God the first fruits of our dough, of our grain offering, of the fruit of all our trees, and of our new wine and oil, a tenth, a tithe, of our produce belongs to the Levites, for they will receive tithes in all the towns where they labor. So the Levites are supposed to receive the tithe. Amen. Let's talk a little bit about the Levites. In Matthew chapter 23, verse 23, Christ said, yes, you should tithe. Let me open it up. Let me read it for you from the scriptures. Matthew 23, 23. Please open it up. I'm reading from the New International Version. Woe unto you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give a tenth of your spices, mint, dill, and cumin, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. Yes, you should tithe without neglecting the former. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. So here is Christ talking to the Pharisees. If you read Matthew 23 verse 1, he says the Pharisees sat in the seat of Moses. So the tithe he was speaking about was the tithe according to the law of Moses. And he wasn't joking when he was speaking about the law of Moses. He said, listen to this, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law. Hebrews chapter 7 and 5, tithing is the law. Now let's go back to where we're coming from. So let's go back to the book of Nehemiah chapter 10. I'm reading 37. Moreover, as we bring to the priest at the storerooms of the house of our God, remember at that time, God used to dwell among the people. Right now, he doesn't dwell among the people anymore. He doesn't have a tabernacle among the people. The ark of his covenant is no longer his home. Matthew chapter 27, verse 50. The curtain was torn from the top to bottom, exposing the old covenant. And with the resurrection from the grave, the first fruit from the grave, the new covenant was installed. Moreover, we will bring to the priest at the storeroom of the house of our God the first fruits of our dough, of our grain offering, of the fruit of all the trees, and of our new wine and oil. No money was mentioned. Some will say, Daddy Freeze, why are you talking like this? Don't you know that there was no money at that time? As of the time of Abraham, the scriptures tell us that he bought a land to bury his wife Sarah with money. And remember, the Israelites were 400 years in Egypt. And after Abraham, we had Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, then 400 years in Egypt. And then this, and you are telling me they didn't have money. And if they had, okay, what did they do? They lost the money? Guys, wake up. T-Rex is going down. Don't go down with T-Rex. So, listen to what was the first fruit of your dough, grain, fruit of all the trees, and new wine, and oil. Fish was not among. Money was not among. It was just produce. So a fisherman was not required to tithe or to give first fruit. Still on Nehemiah 10:37, a tenth of our produce belongs to the Levites, for they should receive tithes in all the towns where they labor. 38, a priest, a descendant of Aaron, will be with the Levites as they receive these tithes, and a tenth of all that is collected as tithe will be delivered by the Levites to the temple of our God and placed in the storerooms. The tithe was not meant for the storeroom. What was meant for the storeroom was a tithe of the tithe, 10% of the tithe. Read it in the original languages like I have. Giving 10% to the church today is immoral, illegal, is everything. Because only 10% of what was given to the Levites went into where the priests were. So if we are priests, because we cannot be Levites, for you to be a Levite, you have to be a son of Jacob and Leah, called Levi. You have to be one of his descendants. I think we should take a break on the radio now and come right back. We're going to take a break on Cool FM right now and then come right back. Please bear with us. So whatever I'm talking is not going live. You've muted me, Abby. Okay, fantastic. So we're live on Cool FM. Please, let's wait for the radio audience. Okay. How many minutes is the ad? Okay, so we're back in 15 seconds. Big shout out to Labooms. Labooms is the one coordinating this from the office. How was the audio? It's okay. Okay. All right then. No, you guys are hearing me, but we're also transmitting on the radio, so please work with me. Okay, so we're going back now. Just give me 3, 2, 1. Count down for me. Then I'll end at 12 on the dot, okay? But you guys will continue from 12, but radio ends at 12. So I'm waiting for him to give me the countdown. Okay. All right, it is 96.9 Cool FM, and we're transmitting live. Thank you so much, Labooms, for sorting us out. We're riding all the way down till midday on 96.9 Cool FM. And before we went on the break, I was reading Nehemiah 10 from 37. Nehemiah 10 from verse 37. Moreover, we will bring to the priests at the storerooms of the house of our God the first fruits of our dough, of our grain offering, of the fruit of all our trees, and of our new wine and oil. 1/10 of our produce belongs to the Levites, for they will receive tithes in all the towns where we labor. A priest, a descendant of Aaron, will be with the Levites as they receive these tithes, and 1/10 of all that is collected as tithes will be delivered by the Levites to the temple of our God and placed in the storerooms. The people and the Levites must bring these offerings of grain, new wine, and olive oil to the storerooms and place them in the secret containers near the ministering priests, the gatekeepers, and the singers. We promised together not to neglect the temple of our God. Money was not part of it. It was just produce. So now let's go to Malachi chapter 3 and read from 8 to 10. Will a mere mortal rob God? Yet you rob me. But you ask, how are we robbing you in tithes and offering? You are under a curse, for the whole nation has been cheating me. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, so there'll be enough food in my temple. If you do not, says the Lord of heaven's armies, I will open the window of heaven for you, and I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. Try it. Put me to the test. Now, I want to ask you, watching me live on youtube.com/Daddy Freeze Teaches, please don't forget to subscribe. And listening to me on the radio or watching on Instagram or Facebook, I want to ask you today, this tithe that he is saying here to Malachi, what was that tithe? I'll read this to you again. 10, Malachi 3:10. Bring all the tithes into the storerooms. So how much was supposed to be brought into the storerooms? If you go by the understanding of Prophet Nehemiah, who explained this in greater detail, what is it supposed to be? I'm asking you. Some people are saying produce. Simon Peter, just like the original Simon Peter. Shukbovon. 10%, not even just produce, 10% of the 10%, which is 1%. So if we're going by this and we're monetizing this, if you're earning 100,000 naira, the only thing that needs to go to the house of God, and trust me, God don't own no houses on earth, is 1,000 naira. 1%. 10% of 10%. Now you do the mathematics. Maybe we need a little bit more explanation. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and Numbers for explicit explanation. Numbers chapter 18 and 20. The Lord said to Aaron, you will have no inheritance in their land, nor will you have any share among them. I am your share and your inheritance among the Israelites. I will give to the Levites all the tithes in Israel as their inheritance in return for the work they do while serving at the tent of meeting. The tent of meeting no longer exists. There's nobody in this dispensation working at any tent of meeting. And by the way, those working at the tent of meeting were not allowed to have any inheritance. They were not allowed to own any property. They were not allowed to own anything. So the 1% was what they would eat. Your pastors own companies. They own industries. Your pastors own houses. They own real estate. They own land. They own cars. They own jets. They don't qualify to be Levites. Go with me to the book of Leviticus 27 and 30. A tithe of everything from the land, whether grain from the soil or fruit from the trees, belongs to the Lord. It is holy to the Lord. A bank is not from the land. You don't plant banks. An oil company is not from the land. You don't plant oil companies. What belonged to the Lord was grain or fruit. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy now. Deuteronomy 14. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 22. Starting from 22. We're going to read all this. We have time. Don't you have time? I'm reading from the New Living Translation. The giving of tithes. You must. Tithing was a must. You must set aside a tithe of your crops. Look at someone beside you and tell them tithing was a must. It was an absolute must. God required you to tithe. And this is how he required you to tithe. Let me read it to you now. You must set aside a tithe of your crops, 1/10 of all the crops you harvest each year. Bring this tithe to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored, and eat it there in his presence. This applies to your tithes of grain, new wine, olive oil, and the firstborn males of your flock and herds. Doing this will teach you to always fear the Lord your God. Do you know why money was not there? Because you cannot eat money. Because you are required to eat your tithe. It was never money. Go to my room. There's a wad of 1,000 naira notes there in my room. Go and bring it. Go and bring it. Have you seen it? This is money. Oh yeah, Marachi, come. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you this money. Sit down where you are. I'm going to give you this money. I want you to eat it. Marachi did like this. Don't you like money again? Money is good. This is my tithe. I want to give Amarachi my tithe so she can eat it as the Lord instructed us to eat the tithe. Do you want my tithe? I will only give it to you if you eat it. I must see you putting it in your mouth. I must see you chewing it. All of it. You want it? And you eat all of it now. Oh yeah, take. You must eat it too. Guy. So, the reason why the tithe was never money, because you were instructed to eat it at the place the Lord chose for his name to be worshipped. Ẹni láti jẹ ni wọ́n máa ń jẹ tithe ni wọ́n sọ fún pastor. Them no they give pastor tithe, them they chop am. Let's continue. Bring this tithe. I'm reading Deuteronomy 14, 22, 23. Bring this tithe to the designated place of worship, the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be honored, and eat it there in his presence. This applies to the tithe of your grain, new wine, olive oil, and the firstborn males of your flocks. Hold on, can you eat grain? Can you eat grain? Can you eat olive oil? Can you eat firstborn of your animals? Okay, good. That's what it was. It was food. Now, here's where money came in. Now listen now. Numbers 14 and 24. Now, when the Lord your God blesses you with a good harvest, the place of worship he chooses for his name to be honored might be too far for you to bring the tithe. If so, you may sell the tithe portion of your crops and herds. Remember, the tithe portion was crops and herds, and you may sell it. Put the money in a pouch and go to the place the Lord your God has chosen. When you arrive, look at someone beside you and tell them, when you arrive, you're not going to eat the money. So what are you going to do with the money? Use it to buy. When you arrive, Deuteronomy 14:26, when you arrive, you may use the money to buy any kind of food. The money has to be turned back to food because you need to eat your tithe. Look at someone beside you and tell them, turn the money to food. It's time I ate my tithe. Turn the money back to food. It is time we ate our tithe. I wish I was saying this from my own understanding, but I'm speaking from the scriptures. Go and read what I've said and argue with the scriptures. You may use the money to buy any kind of food you want: cattle, sheep, goats, wine, or other alcoholic drinks, meaning you could buy beer with your tithe and enjoy that beer in the place the Lord has chosen. And by drinking that beer, you are paying your tithe. Who disagrees with me? Who disagrees with me that you cannot drink beer in the house of God as your tithe? If you're here and you disagree, I want you to bring forth your disagreement with the scriptures. I'm giving you mine with the scriptures. Oh, you didn't know they used to drink alcohol in the church? I'll take you to the scriptures. Unfortunately for you, and for whoever wants to fight me, I studied this thing very well. Go with me to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I want to read from 18. First, I hear that there are divisions among you when you meet as a church. And to some extent, I believe that this is Paul speaking. But of course, there must be divisions among you so that those who have God's approval will be recognized. When you meet together, you're not really interested in the Lord's Supper. For some of you are in a hurry to eat your own meal without sharing with others. As a result, some go hungry while others get drunk. People were literally getting drunk in the early church, and Paul complained about it. If the tithe and the food in the house of God, remember the church is still not the house of God. You are the house of God. God doesn't live among people. God lives in people. You see, the old covenant is a downgrade because it means God lives among you. The new covenant is an upgrade because God doesn't live among you anymore. He lives in you. Look at someone beside you and tell him he lives in you. He lives in you. You are upgraded. But in the early churches, people were getting drunk. I'm going to read it to you in the Greek scriptures. It says, "Fagin kehosmen penahos de methi." Methi is drunken. It says eating, and this one indeed is hungry. That one, however, methi, that one is drunken. They will not teach you this Christianity. They will teach you the one. I think I'm in a good mood today. I think we need to call up our pastors and say, yo, pastor, I want to come to the church. I want to drink my tithe. Of course, remember Paul was angry with those who were getting drunken. So a bottle of tithe and a plate of tithe in the place the Lord has chosen is definitely not a bad idea. Because the scriptures say, let's do this, 26. It says, when you arrive, you may use the money to buy any kind of food you want: cattle, sheep, goats, wine, or other alcoholic drink, and then feast in the presence of the Lord your God and celebrate with your household. And then do not neglect the Levites. Give them some drink too. I didn't say it. Oh God, I wish I did. The scriptures said it. So when Christ in Matthew 23:23 says, yes, you should pay your tithe, I want to ask you today, how are you supposed to pay your tithe? Oh yeah, I'm listening to you people. On the radio, everywhere listening to me, how are you supposed to pay your tithe? Let me start breaking it down. First of all, it was to the Levites, a priesthood that no longer exists. Paul explained this in the book of Hebrews when he said, for the covenant to be changed, it means the priesthood too must be changed. To accept the new covenant, the priesthood must be changed. So you cannot give your tithe to any Levite because the Levites don't exist anymore. Hebrews chapter 7 explains Christ's priesthood according to the order of Melchizedek. Even Christ was not qualified to be a priest according to the order of Aaron or according to the order of Levi. Christ's priesthood. Christ's priesthood is according to the order of Melchizedek, a divine priesthood. So even Christ was not qualified to collect tithe. That's why he didn't collect the tithe. And those of you saying tithe was paid according to the order of Melchizedek, go and read Genesis chapter 14 very well. 20 tells us that Melchizedek collected 10% from Abraham. Then Abraham now returned the 90% to the king of Sodom, where he got it from in the first place. Go and read Genesis chapter 14 very well. So if you want to pay tithe like Abraham, you must return the 90% to the person who paid it to you. That's your office. So you collect 10%, give it to your Melchizedek. Hello. They say Melchizedek, no get beginning, no get end. Your pastor no get begin, no get end. Then the remaining 90% must be returned to the king of Sodom, where you got it from in the first place. Look at someone and tell him, return the 90%. Once you pay out the 10%, the 90% no longer belongs to you. Return the 90%. Tithers. I want tithing like Abraham. Return the 90% like Abraham did. Let's know you are tithing. Let them be there, dribbling you people. Now, the eating of the tithe was annually. Every year you are supposed to eat your tithe and drink your tithe, according to the old covenant. You're supposed to eat it and drink it. You see, Israel, according to the old covenant, ran a 7-year course. And I'll explain to you by reading Deuteronomy 14:28. At the end of every 3rd year, bring the entire tithe of that year's harvest and store it in the nearest town. Give it to the Levites, who will receive no allotment of land among you, as well as to the foreigners living among you, the orphans, the widows in your home, so they can eat and be satisfied, and the Lord your God will bless you in all your work. So the 3rd year, you're supposed to share the tithe between, it says, give it to the Levites, and it's not that you're giving it all to the Levites. Give it to the Levites and the strangers, the foreigners, the widows, the orphans. Now, 10% of that tithe is what goes to the storehouse. Meaning, year 1, since we people earn money now, this is how we are supposed to tithe. Year 1, if we are supposed to go put ourselves back under this downgrade covenant. Year 1, we are supposed to go to the place the Lord has chosen with our families and eat our tithe there. We eat, we'll use our money to buy goat, ram, sheep, cattle, wine, beer, and sit down there and eat our tithe. When we are done, we'll go home the first year. Second year, you are supposed to go to the place the Lord has chosen, and again, you are supposed to eat your tithe and drink your tithe. Then the third year, you bring the entire harvest of that year to the nearest town. This one you don't take to the place the Lord your God has chosen. You now take it to the town. And in the town, you will give it to the Levites, the widow, as well as the foreigners, the widows, and all of that. So year 1, eat and drink tithe. Year 2, eat and drink tithe. Year 3, give to Levite, widows, orphans, and foreigners. Year 4, eat and drink tithe. Year 5, eat and drink tithe. Year 6, give to Levites, widows, foreigners, and orphans. Year 7, the land is supposed to rest. No work is done in Israel on the year of rest. Then they started again. Now I want to ask you, if you sat down and calculated it like this, your pastor will only be collecting 1% of your money once in 3 years. Religion that strips you of what is, listen. The Levites owned nothing. They fed on your tithe. Nigeria, those who are not even qualified to be Levites own everything. Some of the richest pastors in the world live here among the poorest people on earth. And you tell me this Tyrannosaurus Rex, this big, fat, powerful T-Rex is not going to fall flat on his belly. This T-Rex cannot be sustained. They ate too much. They've eaten all the grass. The T-Rex has eaten all the grass eaters. That ideology can no longer be sustained. They have eaten all the tithe. Inside the pandemic, they are telling the tithe payers to still pay tithe when they don't work. You know why Israel didn't collect tithe in the 7 years? In the 7th year? Amarachi, why didn't Israel, the priests collect tithe in the 7th year? Huh? Because it was the year of rest. God bless you, my beautiful daughter. Because nobody worked. Nobody needed to even eat their own tithe because there was no tithe to be eaten. The scriptures were very clear. The scriptures say, Deuteronomy 14:24, when the Lord your God blesses you with a good harvest, he doesn't bless you with a good harvest where you sit at home and don't even work. How do you receive a good harvest when you sit at home on your big behind like a bump on a log without working, and then you still want a tithe? Look at someone beside you and tell them, this is the year when we rested. We are resting. See me? Does this look like work? Any pastor who tells you to bring seeds or tithe in this period needs to be asked questions. I'm not fighting pastors again. I used to fight in the times past. But dear daddy, dear elder, dear pastor, now God they take beg you. Stop collecting at this point. This is not the time to collect. This is the time to give back. This is the time to open the storehouse and bring out the food. Go with me to the book of Genesis. Cool FM, thank you so much for listening. I'm about to round off on Cool FM right now. Go with me to the book of Genesis chapter 41. Genesis chapter 41. Genesis 41. And I'll be reading. Sorry, let me relaunch Instagram. Genesis 41:28. Genesis 41:28. It is just as I said to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he's about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow. Then all the abundance of Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. The abundance in the land will not be remembered, because the famine that followed will be so severe. The reason the dream was given to Pharaoh in two forms is that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. So let Pharaoh look for a discerning wise man and put him in charge of the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land to take a fifth of the harvest of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. They should collect all the food of the good years that are coming and store it up in the storehouse under the authority of Pharaoh, to be kept in the cities for food. The food should be held in reserve for the country, to be used during the 7 years of famine that will come upon Egypt, so the country may not be ruined by the famine. So the reason why they were taking things to the storehouse in Egypt was so that there may be food in the house. Just the way the book of Malachi says, oh, there is food in the house, even though it's not God's house. It is filled to the brim with food. Now it's time to open the storehouses and feed the people. Thank you so much to everyone listening on Cool FM. It's been a very wondrous day. Thank you so much. May the Lord bless you. And this is the time you asked your pastors to give back to you. This is not the time you gave to them. This is the time they gave back to you. Demand your right. Tell them you want to eat your tithe and drink it as the Lord instructed in the book of Deuteronomy. For those listening to us on Cool FM, God bless you all. The sound was clear. In a room, yes. Yes. All right. God bless you. Thank you very much. Give it to your mom back. Okay. All right. Church never end. Don't worry. Now Cool FM own end. So they said the sound was very clear except for the echo. Unfortunately, na house I did, so no be studio, so echo day. Now, I'm continuing with the message. I want to also talk about offering right now. Let's speak about offering. Go with me to the book of Acts chapter 4. Give me my orange juice. It's in the door of the fridge. Acts chapter 4, and I'm reading from 34. There were no needy people among them, because those who owned land or houses would sell them and bring the money to the apostles to give to those in need. The money was brought to the apostles, not so the apostles can buy jets, not so the apostles could build houses, so that it could be distributed to those in need. This is not the time when your offering should go to the largesse of the church. This is the time your offering should go to those in need. But you don't listen because you don't like deep teaching. I'll take you somewhere. Go with me to the book of 2 Timothy. Go with me to 2 Timothy. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. I'm reading from chapter 4 and verse 1. I solemnly urge you in the presence of God and Christ, who will someday judge the living and the dead when he comes to set up his kingdom. When he comes to set up his kingdom. Here's God the whole. Here's God the whole. Who, if Christ is going to come and set up his kingdom, he's going to come. Hello? So whose kingdom are we in now? I will give you the kingdoms of the earth. When he is going to judge the earth and come and set up his kingdom, no being kingdom be this, yo. He doesn't got the world in his hands, yo. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 4, Satan is the god of this world, and the god of this world has many plans for the people he exercises dominion over. Preach the word of God. Be prepared whether the time is favorable or not. Patiently correct, rebuke, and encourage your people with good teaching. For a time is coming when people will no longer listen to sound and wholesome teaching. They will follow their own desires and look for teachers who will tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. They will reject the truth and chase after myths. You reject the truth. They will no longer listen to sound, wholesome teaching. I'm giving you sound, wholesome teaching and I'm backing with the scriptures. But you're rejecting the truth and you're chasing after myths. Someone is telling you to still bring your tithe as money and sow seeds as money so you can be blessed. And I want to ask you a question. Why are all those churches closed? Why are we all doing online service? The big cathedral. I'm surrounded by cathedrals. There's a smaller, not so big one, but quite big at the corner of my street. There's a humongous cathedral by the beach. Police came there this morning to make sure they were not doing service. Then across the road, there's a big, humongous cream cathedral. Big cathedral. All closed. But a little pharmacy shop at the junction of my street is open. You know why? Because the pharmacy don't sell myths. The pharmacy sells reality. It sells you a Panadol that would take away your headache. It sells you a Gelucid that will take care of your ulcer. If you have cro-cro on your body, it sells you a balm that will take care of the cro-cro on your body. If you have malaria, it would sell you. What are the malaria medicines you know? Leonard's. Huh? Leonard's. Eh? quinine. They would sell those to you. You can get those at the pharmacy. But those ones that tell you they give you healing, if you do they say close down. Why? Because their healing cannot be verified. I do not say for any reason that there are no preachers whom God uses to heal people. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it cannot be verified. But let me tell you, if you gather people in close proximity, you can get coronavirus. That one is verified. So, since your healing is not verifiable, but the fact that gatherings can verifiably cause corona to spread, y'all sit your little behinds at home. Thank you very much. But the pharmacy open. The supermarket where they sell food is open. Because food does not cure the illusion of hunger, it cures hunger. Look at someone beside you and tell them, water does not cure the illusion of thirst, it cures real thirst. Food cures real hunger. Christ said, I am the bread of life. If you eat me, you will never hunger. Yet he preached to 5,000 and he still gave them real bread. Hello? Did you not give them bread? Did you not give them fish? Ejadi? He put small ejadi inside bougon, gave them. Christ gave them feasts. Even when he resurrected, just to show you how important food is, when he resurrected, he showed up in the upper room. He said, hey, does anybody have any food here? They bought him a piece of broiled fish. And he ate the fish in a resurrected state. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to. My young baby is just hopping around the house like he normally does. Guys, permit me. Your pastors gather you in hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands and thousands. And they ask you to feed them. They say, 5,000, feed your Jesus. That's not what the message of salvation is. Christ looked at the disciples like, you, go and feed them. The disciples say, it will take a year's wages for us to feed these people. And he showed up. And fed them. He didn't ask them for a tithe when they was hungry. Let's read the Bible. Let's read the Bible. Go with me to the book of Matthew chapter 6. Sorry, I meant John chapter 6. I beg your pardon. Matthew was open in front of me, that's why. John chapter 6. John chapter 6. John chapter 5 ended with him addressing them and telling them that if you actually believed Moses, you will believe me, because he wrote about me. But since you don't believe what he wrote, how you believe what I say? And then you move to John chapter 6, and I'm reading from verse 1. After this, Yahushua crossed over to the far side of the Sea of Galilee, also known as the Sea of Tiberias. And a huge crowd kept following him wherever he went, because they saw his miraculous signs as he healed the sick. Then he climbed a hill and sat down with his disciples around him. It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration. He saw a huge crowd of people coming to look for him. Turning to Philip, he asked, "Where can we buy bread to feed all these people?" He was testing Philip, for he knew what he was going to do. Philip replied, "Even if we work for months, we won't have enough money to feed them." And Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "There's a young boy here with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good is that with a huge crowd?" "Tell everyone to sit down," Yahushua said. So they all sat down on the grassy slopes. The men alone numbered about 5,000, meaning they could have been as many as 30,000. They counted only the men, they didn't count women or children. Then he took the loaves and gave thanks to God and distributed them to the people. Afterwards, he did the same with the fish, and they all ate as much as they wanted, and everybody was full. And then Yahushua said, "Gather the leftovers so nothing is wasted." So they picked up the pieces and filled 12 baskets with scraps left by the people who had eaten from the 5 barley loaves. He fed them. Your people cannot feed you. And you're hungry. The scripture said, if you read John chapter 6, verse 5, they didn't say they were hungry. As soon as he saw the crowd, he said, "Where can we get food? Where can we buy food to feed all these people?" Christ was already thinking of feeding them even before they asked to be fed. Your pastor, despite the fact that you are groaning in hunger, does not realize that it's time for them to feed you. And I must tell you something. I'm going to break your heart with what I'm about to say to you now. You are worse than the pastors. The pastors are 30% of the problem. You are 70% of the problem. 2 Timothy chapter 4 says, the people will look for those that will tell them what their itchy ears want to hear. As long as a pastor preaches a sound doctrine, see, today we have a good turnout, 440 on YouTube, 280 on Instagram. That's about maybe nearly 800 with 110 on Facebook. That's a little less than 1,000. Do you know the average church will sit 3,000 or 4,000? Few people come to us. Even as the people are here, you can see all of them questioning me. Go to church and question your leaders. You will not question them. But they'll question me despite the sound, scriptural, doctrinal teaching that I'm giving you. There are very stupid people who are listening to me right now. I'm blocking every one of them. This one, Omokwale Osagie, is beyond stupid. He's the kind of stupid that sends other stupids on errands. As in the kind of stupid that other stupids see and call bros. That's his kind of stupid. And I want to ask you something. Remember, one of the theories that ended the T-Rex reign was famine. Famine is also one of the things that's going to end religion. People are hungry and the church is taking. My dear brothers and sisters who are pastors, please don't take from hungry people. Please don't take from hungry people. I know you've started ministries that needs money to run. I'm talking to my pastor brothers and sisters candidly now. I understand. I empathize with you. There was a time when T-Rex was a powerful, formidable force. But you see, T-Rex can no longer survive in this dispensation. You've got to cut down. You've got to sell some of the properties. I will not tell you to close your churches. I will only beg you to preach the truth. Sell some of the church properties. If you have 8 churches, sell 1 or 2 and cut down your staff. Surround yourselves with only the necessity and take care of the poor around you who are your members. This is the time to do that. Now, in any case, tell him I'm going to. In any case that a church wants to give back, encourage them. You see, a pastor reached out to me yesterday, a very popular prophet, Jeremiah Fufein, and he wanted to give away 5 million naira online. And he reached out to me, and I was very excited about the idea at the initial period. I was like, oh, wow, this is a good idea. People have been begging me. As in, up till now, my husband left me, I'm alone. One lady said she actually went into selling her body because she couldn't raise money to feed her children. It's right there in my DM. And all of a sudden, I have 5 million naira to give away. And I was excited about this development. Now I called Taste Buds and we're excited. We started mapping out. Oh, 2020K is going to go to everybody that joins us in the live service. This is your coronavirus money. Just hold this 2020K. Use and buy food. Put things in your house. Do you understand? We're debating whether should we give 50K because there are like 20 people. If we gave 50K, that's already like 1 million. And we want to give out the money online to people who are, so it wouldn't just be a free nation. We shouldn't just collobby everything and make it free nation members. So we're still deliberating. Should we give out 50K or should we give out 20K? I now talk to one of my Egbons. I say, Egbon, how far with this idea? What do you think here? What do you think here? What do you think here? The Egbon said, you have not finished coming out of Apostle Suleiman. You want to join Prophet Fufe inside. Say, think this matter well. That's when I realized that, I do not have the body to collect Jeremiah Fufe and Apostle Suleiman criticism. I thought of it up and down. I appreciated the prophet for the good will. We might be totally different, worlds apart doctrinally, but let me tell you, humanity is superior to doctrine. Matthew chapter 25 from verse 31. When I was sick, when I was hungry, when I was thirsty, that's all it takes to make heaven. All this doctrine. The reason why I'm fighting doctrine is because they are using their own doctrine to squash down, to de-emphasize Matthew 25. That's why you notice I don't really fight Muslims, because Muslims do not squash down Matthew 25. They give to the poor and the needy. So I needed a sip of a drink. Leave the door open so that I can get breeze. So I thought about it. Apostle Suleiman has never. Taste Buds has, when I'm alone and I pick his call, I put it on speaker, Taste Buds is there. He has never said, the only thing he has told me is, if they don't call you to preach something, no go preach am. Anything where say God call you to preach am. Even if na me preach, and you don't agree with what I preach, go preach your own way God call you. This is a man that has never in any way stood against the message of truth. And you see, we have come to a point where, because we hate these people so much, even when they speak the truth, you don't listen to them. When they make sense, you don't listen to them because of hatred. You see, I will never fund the message of hatred. From this moment on, I'm not criticizing pastors again. Please, if you want to unfollow me, please unfollow me. I'm not criticizing pastors again. Criticizing pastors will not bring the money back. Hold on. Let me tell you what you guys sound like. There's a Romanian joke that said a man came home. Abi, Amarachi, are you listening to me? Nanny baby, you are there. Fantastic. A man came home and saw his wife and his mother crying. Papa start to panic. Say, come, waiting they happen. Oh, the baby is going to die. This cry, no be small cry, now better wailing, uncontrollable, mother and daughter-in-law. The guy looked at the bed and saw the baby giggling, playing with pacifier and holding toy. No be the baby with this. Wetin do the baby when he say go down? Oh God, you don't understand. One of the ceiling boards is about to fall, and the ceiling board will fall on the baby, and it will kill the baby. The guy say, comot the ceiling board or carry the baby. Which one be say you sit down, they cry? Say ceiling board go fall, kill pikin. You no move the pikin. You no comot the ceiling board. Now the highest foolishness for this life. Our crying today, now say baby sit down for bed with a cry, say ceiling board won't fall on top of him. Initially, the crying was good because it brought attention to the predicament, the looming disaster. But now we don't need to draw attention anymore. What we need is action. Look at someone and tell them, stop the attention and start the action. Stop seeking for attention and start acting. We all now know that 99% of pastors do not preach the truth. If we continue bashing them, we are as stupid as, if not more stupid than, the mother and the daughter-in-law crying foolishly. That's what you've become. And I refuse to become that with you. If that's what is going to make you unfollow me, block me. Block me now. I want to relaunch Instagram. The phone is about to die. The phone doesn't last anymore. Bring me the other black phone. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me bring back Instagram. This phone doesn't last anymore. Look at it, it's 1% now. So before it logs me out, let me at least log the message out by myself. So just give me a few seconds. Let me launch Instagram back. YouTube, can you hear me? Stop the attention and start taking action. If right now our ministry is about pointing faults at other pastors, we are just seeking attention. There's anybody that still needs to wake up now has missed the boat. The boat don't waka, leave you. Sorry guys, let me just launch Instagram again. Simply Vic, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Simply Vic has been fighting with me since yesterday. I said I no go take that money. Anybody wey hunger wan kill may kill. I no go collect. They are still talking to me as of this morning. Not because I'm disrespecting Prophet Jeremiah. No. I appreciate what he's doing, but I don't want your trouble. I want to collect the money back and give it to you, but I know say una go fight me. I know say una go criticize me. And I no get power. The one where I think you don't even know what Apostle Suleiman face because he dey talk to me. You know how many people stop talking to him. But I forget una they criticize me, they look una they laugh. My heart they cry for him because he is in that place with them. Because of me, they don't become an enemy. And you think I want to go in head on again because some of you don't have food to eat? I don't want to do it. Simply Vic has been begging me since yesterday that the freeze collect that money. People are hungry. That the freeze collect that money. People are hungry. Antonia was in my DM. Do it for us. I sat down and I thought about it. When they start tagging me in Apostle Jeremiah post, me that said I'm not criticizing pastors again, it will now be like, Apostle Jeremiah talk one thing, but Daddy Freeze no go talk about them because he collected money from him. Daddy Freeze has been compromised. Along with Nije, he is not giving me money for myself. He is giving me money to share to those in need. In need, make una dey okay. Wait. Apostle Suleiman has never given me 5 kobo before. 10 kobo, the smallest number, the smallest. Okay, let's say we don't have 5 kobo and 10 kobo again. 20 naira, it is 10 naira still day. I never seen 10 naira before. Yet I have suffered. He has suffered. You think I will put my head beside this again? As I'm talking to you now, they are still talking to me about it, and I'm politely refusing because the people are not worth it. Get up! You will not get up. Only 30,000 of you voted for Showore. The next thing people are shouting, revolution now, revolution now. Not be when you vote for Showore, Showore get 1 million votes. Then the other candidate get 900,000 votes, but you upgrade the own to 1.5 million votes. Not be you get fight. See the distance now from 30,000 to 1 point something million. Why you want to explain now? Even if you say the other party rig, the other party no get 50,000 where they rig to million. Maybe they get 1 million, they rig down to 1.5, or they get 700,000, they rig down to 1.2. But nobody say they get 30,000. Oh. I was thinking of all my lovely brothers and sisters, how much they will benefit from this. Even if at the end of the day it's 20K, I was thinking of Brother Shupo, Brother Chris, Sister Sheung, Brother Femi. Imagine giving all of them 20K. And guess what? The funny thing is, they do not criticize me over my relationship with Apostle Suleiman. They do not criticize me because they know it does not affect the thing I preach for Una today. I look like person where doctrine don't change. But guess what? They are the ones suffering for the online attention seeking that has left the ministry of reconciliation and has turned to a ministry of hate. Christ did not go to the temple with a cane every day from January 1st till 31st of December. He went there once. Once in a 3-year ministry. Once. His ministry was on for 3 years. How many months is 3 years? Before this phone, Kukuma died. Let me do the mathematics. 365 what?
How many months is 3 years?
Yes. How many days is 3 years? 365 times 3. In 1,095 days, he went there only once out of 1,095 days. I don't know how they used to calculate their years now. Maybe it's not this Gregorian calendar, whatever it is. At least over 1,000. 1,000 days. Inside 1,000 days, you do something once. It can't be your own agenda. Have you sat down to preach the message of salvation? Have you sat down to say, oh yes, I bash doctrines every day. My problem is not the pastors, my problem is the doctrines. One pastor was telling me that you're going to find it hard to stop the hate message because you started with it. I said, initially, we needed it. If we did not come out with the force we came out with, nobody will listen to us. But hello, they've listened to us now. We have shouted, we are now on top of the tree. We don't need to get to the top of the tree again. Right now, at the top of the tree, what we need to do is speak. Speak healing to the land. Speak truth into the land. Yahushua said, know the truth and it will set you free. Speak the truth to the land. Preach a doctrine. Heal the world. Guide the world. Direct the world. We cannot just wake up every day and be caning people. Now ministry be that. January 1st, Happy New Year, we did church with Cain. Valentine's Day, meet us there. We did there with Cain. Workers' Day, still meet us there. We did there with Cain. They flog everybody. October 1st, meet us there. We did there with Cain. Christmas, meet us there. We did there with Cain. Boxing Day, we did there. We did there with Cain. New Year Eve, we did there. Crossover, we did there. We got, come on. Inside 1,000 days, waiting we do for 1 day. We don't turn on to waiting we do for 1,000 days. We don't reject the remaining 999 days of work. We are amplifying 1 day and putting it ahead of all that. And I'm not going to work that with anybody. The fact that I'm rejecting this money does not mean I'm going to. It means now that if I don't bash Prophet Jeremiah, because I'm not bashing prophets again, if I see message way wrong, even if that Prophet Jeremiah preach, I go come attack the message. I'm not bashing the messenger again, I'm bashing the message. If you don't like it, unfollow me, they go. They go. My followership, and funny enough, let me tell you, every week, at least 4,000 people unfollow me, but guess what? You don't notice. You actually see the numbers go up because like 8,000 people follow me. So as people, they come, some they go. As they go, they replace them. And una know they pay me salary. If una reduce, una plenty, it no matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. Now the phrase we will leave you that 506 people are watching me live on YouTube now. 506. 309 on Instagram. That is already 800 and something. Then 131 on Facebook. Over 1,000 people. When I closed the first Facebook, the first Instagram, we had over 3,000 in audience. Let me show it to you. 3,068 in audience. If you want to go, go. It doesn't concern me. Even if I preach, I see one person here, one person here, one person here, I'm good. And when I'm done preaching the truth, I go, I lie down on my bed, drink my juice, eat my taste buds food, relax and close my eyes and rest peacefully. When I've taken money that does not belong to me or belongs to you, I will not rest. Apostle Suleiman was talking about the New World Order. Maybe the way he said it. Do not ignore the New World Order. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to say it and go. Do not ignore it, yo. Finish. Oton. Me so jubelo. Inside there, I hate Apostle Suleiman. I hate Apostle Suleiman. He get one thing when he talk inside the plenty thing. Where fit be your own inside that particular that message. Finish. I not talk again. I not talk again. When me and taste buds sit down, they listen to all these messages. Not even church messages, about what's going on in the world, things that are hidden. I don't want to talk about it because here's a spiritual, scriptural forum. That's something else. But I'm just begging you, think. Think. Let me tell you something. The baby is on the bed. The ceiling board wants to fall on the baby. And you're crying. What puts the ceiling board in a precarious position? I want to ask you, what put the ceiling board in a precarious position? The church. Collecting of money. But guess what? You crying about it is not going to improve the situation. We need to sit down with the church. The money is there. Your crying is not going to bring the money back out. You think they're going to give you the money? If people are still paying tithe inside this thing, just know that your shouting will not reach anywhere. The time now is to sit down with them and say, look, Baba, this is the message of God. Bring out some of that money. Let's take people out of poverty. Let's take people out of sickness. Bring out some of that money. But you know what? Who do they give the money to? Who do they know? Who do they know? People like us that are supposed to go and sit down with them and discuss, we are afraid of sitting down with them because of you. And now una go still cry, say hungry, they catch una. Una no understand. Now una be the mother and the mother-in-law where they cry over pikin, where their feet move. Some little action can be done to prevent the catastrophic event looming. But the wickedness of your heart will not let you. Somebody is saying, what is all this stupid talk about? How can you be watching something that is stupid? Is that not stupidity? You are wasting your data to watch something stupid. Who did this to you? You are wasting your data to watch something stupid. Christabel Cruz says, Daddy Freeze, Nigerians will make you Judas Iscariot. Don't collect the money, please. I'm not collecting it, don't worry. They have begged, they have cried. I'm not collecting it. I thank Prophet Jeremiah Fufeng for thinking it fit to give back 5 million naira to the people at this point. I think it's a good thing. I think it's in line with the TAP challenge, Tithe Against Poverty. I think it's in line with the scriptures with regards to giving. But I'm sorry, I do not want to hear stories that touch. Maybe if hungry kid 2 or 3 people, una go come get sense. Una go come call me. We go come sit down, reconvene this meeting. Then maybe in the future, somebody else calls me and wants to do that kind of giveaway. I will consider it, but I don't like being insulted for what I did not do. If you insult me for what I did, I don't mind. But when I get insulted for what I did not do, it pains me personally. Right now, nobody can insult me because I didn't do anything. The moment I collect that money, I don't do something. So may God bless you now. I just feel bad for the wonderful people that are surrounding me, who are going through a lot, who I know I could have done something to help. Personally, let me tell you something in the Free Nation. The only thing that has come to me between January and March, personally, is somebody who called me and offered me to bring Coca-Cola products to our gathering so that after every service, people will gather. This is the end of March. What's today's date? 29th of March. Nobody has said, Daddy Freeze, I want to give you this 100K. I want to give you this 20K. I want to give you this 50K. Nobody. Yet the stream, as I did here, I did stream even for radio audience. I didn't need to stream on Cool FM. Nobody's doing their work on Cool FM. Everybody's at home. But just so that the audience will reach, I have been making phone calls, arranging this so that the message can still get to the radio audience. Let me tell you, you created those men because your hearts are wicked and selfish. Think about it, January till now. I'm not asking anybody for money. I don't need your money. But if January till now, Out of 1,000 people listening to me, let me tell you, if everybody bought 500 naira a month, 500 naira, money of pack of small chops, I'll be walking away with 500,000 naira a month. That's a salary. That is a salary. But because you do not give me, if I were like them, you know what I will do? I will tell you, if you don't give me, you will die. I will tell you that if you don't give me, your children will die. Then you will start to give me, then your spirit will start getting confirmation bias, and everything working out in your life will now turn to because you are giving the prophet money. Then your giving will double, and my tactics will double too. I'll tell you that this time you will live, but your children are going to die if you do not double your giving. And the more you give, the greedier I get. And then I will tell you, okay, you're not going to die, your children are not going to die, but your business is going to die. And I'm going to tell you, because you see, fear is the governor of mankind. I want you to write this down. Fear is the governor of mankind. Once you can induce fear, you will induce all sorts of other emotions from mankind. Oh, I need to tell somebody something this morning. Is it afternoon? Coronavirus is being propagated with fear. That is why people are buying all the toilet roll in the whole America. There's no toilet roll in England. There's no tissue. Why? Because people are afraid. So when you can tap into the fear doctrine, you'll be able to get people to part with their money, part with their sense, part with their wives, part with everything you need them to part with, as long as you can dial into their fear. I was watching Biodun Fato Imbo one day. And inside all the things that he said that I don't agree with, I found one that I agree with. He gave a story. He said one day, death was going to a town. So as death was going, death now met one person. The person said, Death, where are you going? He said he wants to go and kill one person in that town. That person said, only one person. Only one person. He said, just want to go kill one person. Making they go. Say they don't give her instructions. Say, may go kill one person. Now so death go the city. The man did there. He start to the read CNN. Say 3,000 people have died. 2,000 people are in the hospital. For evening, death come they call back. He can't go meet death. He said, Death, you are not a trustworthy person. You have no integrity. You said you want to go and kill one person. Death said, now only one person I want to go kill. The remaining 3,000, 4,000 where you see. They hear say death, they come their town. Fear catch all of them. They come begin, they die. They begin, they kill themselves out of fear. I listened to that thing and I was like, oh, wow. Do you know how many people died drinking salt water during Ebola? Do you know how many people died drinking aspirin during the Spanish flu pandemic? People were poisoning themselves with aspirin, just the way people are poisoning themselves now with chloroquine. Anybody that chloroquine poisoning kills was not meant to be killed by coronavirus. That person only using hand kill himself. And that is how powerful fear is. That is how powerful fear is. So imagine, I've run the structure of the free nation. The Lord so graciously directed my ways in such a way that I can run this on my salary. Last, I will shut one or two things down, run it. Many people put elaborate. Sorry, somebody is really stressing the people there. They say I should block him. Many of these people put elaborate structures in place that need funding. And when they saw that you were not bringing the money, do you know what they did? They now started preaching the fear. And trust me, fear touches your heart. Tell a woman, any woman, that if she doesn't do this thing, her child is going to die. You watch how quickly she's going to do it. People said I blocked the wrong person. Okay, the faith Joseph has. Oh, you people told me to block Faith Joseph. I went to block the wrong person. Sorry, forgive me. Who should I block? Okay, I blocked Faith. Faith, sorry. If you can see my comment. People were saying, you know me, I'm half doing the message, half looking at the screen. So please forgive me. At Faith Joseph. The Faith will not talk now. Anytime she talks, just call my attention to it. So here's what I want to beg you all. Don't be the wicked Christians. Let me tell you, before tithe was introduced in the year 585 AD, there was nobody that was giving to the church. That's where the phrase, as poor as a church rat, arose from. You are so poor that a rat is suffering in your house. Rat that can eat wood. As poor as a church rat. Guess what? That's when they now started the semantics. Malachi 3:8-10. You don't want the Lord to open his windows of heaven over you. Blah, 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 blah. Before you knew it, the church became richer than the people. There are some churches that are richer than countries. I've seen the Faith Joseph. Said she's waiting for Faith. Your arrows of wickedness, I nullify them with the spirit of Yahushua and wish you well as you depart. I wish the peace of Yahweh upon you. I wish progress for you. I wish blessings upon your life. I cancel your negativity and I cancel your wickedness with Yahweh's blood, with Yahushua's blood. God bless you. So guys, let's have a rethink. Maybe if we were better, more generous Christians, they will not need to impose fear and fear-bred sanctions upon us. How can from January till now, the only personal offering I've got, there was a period where I wasn't working for about a week, message was going on, was somebody be bringing crate of soft drink once every week. And it's not even for me, it's for the gathering. Why do you think they will not have Shiloh offering? Why do you think they will not have Tabernacle offering? Why do you think they will not have all the offerings they have? Why do you think they won't have it? It's not their fault. It's because they know you. And you see, the more you give, the greedier they get. So you fueled their greed. So it's still you. Remember, it was the people that asked Aaron to build the golden calf. It wasn't Aaron's suggestion. It was their pressure. And whether you like it or not, stinginess, selfishness, wickedness is pressure in its own. It's silent, but it is pressure. So all of you saying the money is a trap, don't take it, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. Even though out of the 5 million, 20,000 is not my own, it will have been so beautiful for me during this period to give out the money, to share it among our members, to share it among the hungry, to share it among the destitute, to create, even if it is, even out of the money, we buy maybe 50 bags of rice. And we put them at a designated place, and people come and carry, 50 people come and carry one bag of rice. Imagine what that would do. And yet I can't do this because of you. And then you are saying pastor is the problem. Pastor is not the problem. Pastor was never the problem. You have always been the problem. You are the reverse pharaohs that want to go back to Egypt despite the fact that Moses spoke. I want to end with the book of John chapter 5. I want to end with the book of John chapter 5. I'm reading from 45. Yet it isn't I who will accuse you before the Father. Moses will accuse you. Yes, Moses, in whom you put your hopes. If you really believed in Moses, you would believe in me because he wrote about me. But since you don't believe what he wrote, how will you say you believe what I say? If they believed in Moses, they will not get Aaron to build them a calf. And they will not rejoice, as Acts chapter 7 clearly tells us. They rejoiced over this thing that they built. If they obeyed Moses, who said, wait, I'm going up the mountain and I'm coming back. If they had listened to Moses, they will not have pushed Aaron into building a golden calf for them. This thing that they built with their own hands and they celebrated over and they endorsed and had fun over. They pushed, if you read Exodus chapter 32 verse 5, they now pushed Aaron to dedicate their calf as a sacrifice to the Lord. It's you. We've shouted at the pastors. It's time for you to move the baby. You're leaving the baby there and shouting about the board that's about to choke the baby to death. But you're leaving the baby there. And you've left the baby there long enough. Until you stop being the cruel, wicked. Why do you pay your tithe? Ask everybody. I don't want the devourer, you see. You're not paying it because you love God. You're paying it because you don't want the devourer. Some people tell you, my tithe works for me. What does that mean? You see, you will meet maybe 5% of people that say, I pay tithe because God said I should, even though they're wrong. Most of Nigeria will say, anytime I pay my tithe, I notice that businesses start coming, things start coming towards me. My tithe is working for me. You're not paying it because you love God. You're paying it because they've imposed fear upon your heart. And you feel that you're going to lose out in your finances, in your blessings, forgetting that the richest people on earth do not pay this tithe. Who is this person spooning saying shut up or there? He looks like a freshly embalmed cadaver. I just check in page now. If I cuss her now, I go say I wicked. Timi Ike say na lamba fear. Na lamba fear. Let faith, I don't know how I'm going to unblock faith or Morodin. I can't, I don't know. You guys also have to be very careful. I'll look. You blocked mistakenly. Okay, let her send me an email. freezecoolfm@yahoo.co.uk. I'll see how we can work on blocking her. I'm so sorry, Faith. I apologize for blocking you in error. Everybody was saying block Faith, block Faith, block Faith, and I blocked Faith. Apparently, I now went to block the wrong Faith. So God bless you all. There's going to be respite from this virus. There's going to be respite from this pain. But there was a lesson that we all needed to learn. And that lesson was we cannot be doing things the way we've been doing them up till now and expecting to get different results. I love you guys so much. God bless you all. I ask for the Spirit of Yahweh to come upon His children, His true sons and His true daughters. I ask for His love to reign in your hearts. I ask for His wisdom to guide you. And I ask for His direction upon you, now and always. In Yahushua's name I pray. God bless you all. God bless you all. God bless you all.